There's no one-size-fits-all approach to creating a successful fundraising strategy and plan.
People are nervous, right? It's a big deal. We're raising $10 million, even if we're raising $1 or $3 million, depending on the size of the org.
Major gift fundraising is not deadline driven. It really is probably the only type of fundraising, along with planned giving, that is not deadline driven.
AI comes on the scene that's affordable, accessible, that can provide insights and personalization at scale.
That's the first core element of this fundraising engine or funnel, is making sure that the top of your funnel, the beginning of your fundraising process, you are in front of the right people.
What do the people we serve need? And how do we open the door to help them get there?
What happens a lot of times is we get this discomfort or this fear, and our brain tells our body to stop.
We can acquire donors and we can automate everything. And that's where I worry, at least personally, around the perils of AI, that it would remove humans from the interaction.
This is the Intentional Fundraiser podcast.
You may be sitting on a gold mine of donor prospects and still feel broke, under-resourced, and behind on your goals. Long prospect lists can feel comforting. Look at all these names, but they rarely convert into the kind of meaningful, generous major gifts your mission truly needs. Welcome back to the Intentional Fundraiser podcast. I'm Tammy Zonker, and today we're talking about how to move from bloated prospect lists to your real top 25 donor prospects in an intentional, data-informed, and very human way. If you're an executive director, development director, major gift fundraiser, or board member, you probably know this feeling. You run a wealth screen or pull a huge report from your CRM, end up with hundreds of major gift prospects, and then nothing much happens. It's like standing in front of an overstuffed closet. You have tons of clothes, but when it's time to get dressed for an important meeting, you think, I have nothing to wear. The volume of options actually creates paralysis. In fundraising right now, especially heading into 2026, we're seeing fewer donors giving, tighter budgets, and a growing reliance on a smaller group of people giving larger gifts. That means you cannot afford to treat every wealthy name like a top prospect. You need to pay attention to the donor signals that show you who is both capable and genuinely engaged. In this episode, Finding Your Real Top 25 Donor Prospects, we're going to walk step by step through what donor signals actually matter, how to use a simple scoring system to rank your list, how to set up a weekly review ritual to stay focused, and where light AI or automation can help you keep this all up to date without burning you out. So if your prospect list feels endless and your days feel scattered, this conversation is for you. Let's start with the core idea. Your best prospects are the donors who show three things: capacity, affinity, and engagement. Most organizations over-index on capacity. Maybe you've done this. You see a big house, a high-profile job title, or a wealth screening rating and think, there's our next $1 million donor. But wealth alone does not drive generosity. Capacity tells you if someone can give, not if they will give, to you at this time for this mission. So let's break down the three signals in everyday, practical terms. The first signal is capacity. It's about financial ability, the ability to give. You typically see it through real estate, business ownership, or executive level roles, past large gifts to your organization or others, and indicators like stock holdings or business affiliations when you have access to that data. Capacity matters because you want to focus on people who can make a gift at your major gift level, whatever that is for your organization, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000. But capacity alone is like having a full gas tank without a driver who wants to go anywhere with you. The second signal is affinity. It's about how aligned someone is with your mission, your cause, and your values. Indicators of strong affinity might include giving to your organization consistently over multiple years, or supporting causes similar to yours at other nonprofits, or serving on your board or another nonprofit board in your space, or having a personal story or lived experience that connects deeply to your mission. Affinity answers the question, do they care about what we're doing at a heart level? A donor with high capacity but low affinity is much less likely to move forward than a donor with moderate capacity and very high affinity. And the third signal is engagement, which is the part most organizations underutilize, even though your CRM is full of it. Engagement answers, how are they behaving right now? You can see it in recency and frequency of giving, event attendance, virtual or in person, email opens and link clicks, volunteer hours, and meeting attendance, call notes, or visit outcomes. Engagement is the vital signs monitor on your donor relationship. Someone might have given generously 3 years ago, but if they haven't engaged since, their signal is weaker than a smaller donor who's actively showing up, reading, clicking, and attending. Let me share a quick story. Last quarter, I worked with a human services nonprofit that had over 600 so-called major gift prospects. The team was overwhelmed and had no idea who should get a phone call first. They were doing what many teams do, scrolling through names, second-guessing themselves, and often defaulting to the easy donors instead of the most strategic ones. We built a simple scoring system using only data they already had, giving activity, event attendance, and email engagement. Nothing fancy, no new software, just smarter use of what was already in their CRM. Within 2 weeks, they had clarity on their most engaged 30 donors. And those 30 donors ended up driving the majority of their major gift revenue in the next 90 days. Over 60% of major gift dollars came from that small, focused group. That's the power of reading real donor signals instead of staring at long lists. Let me ask you, if you had to guess right now, without running a report, who are your 3 most engaged donors? Not just biggest past givers, but most engaged. Would your whole team give the same names? If the answer is no, you're not alone. That misalignment is a huge pain point in nonprofits, and it signals that you need an intentional, shared way to read donor signals. Now let's talk about how to turn those 3 signals into a simple scoring system that helps you find your true top 25. You do not need an advanced predictive model to get started. You can do this on a spreadsheet, in your CRM, or with a basic report export. Here's a very simple method. Score each donor on a 1 to 5 scale for capacity, affinity, and engagement. Then add the 3 numbers together for a total score out of 15. Is this perfect? No. Is it powerful? Absolutely. Here's how to define the 1 to 5 scoring scale. You'll want to adapt this for your organization, but here's a practical starting point, especially if you're in a small or mid-sized shop. First, capacity. 1 equals limited ability, typically small, occasional gifts. 3 equals comfortable middle, has made mid-level gifts or has indicators of moderate wealth. 5 equals clear ability to give well above your major gift level based on past large gifts or wealth indicators. Next is affinity. 1 equals very weak connection, maybe 1 small gift long ago or a tangential tie to your cause. 3 equals some connection, has given a few times or supports similar organizations. 5 equals strong mission connection, multiple years of giving, personal story, volunteer or board involvement, and clear values alignment. Last is engagement. 1 equals cold or inactive, no recent giving, opens, or attendance. 3 equals warm, some recent giving or engagement in the past 12 to 18 months. 5 equals hot, very recent giving, recent event attendance, or active digital engagement like opens and clicks, plus personal touch points like visits or meaningful calls. Let's put this into practice with 3 fictional donors. Donor A, big wealth, low connection. This donor shows up in your wealth screen with very high assets and a major corporate role. They gave your organization $500 once, 4 years ago, and haven't engaged since. Capacity, 5, high wealth indicators. Affinity, 2, 1 gift, 4 years ago, no clear mission connection. Engagement, 1, no recent activities. Total 8 out of 15. This is a classic, looks amazing on paper prospect, but the signals say not your top priority this month. Donor B, loyal mid-level champion. This donor has given $1,000 to $2,500 annually for the last 5 years, attends at least one event every year, and consistently opens and clicks your emails. They're a mid-level executive, nothing flashy. Capacity, 3, solid but not obviously ultra wealthy. Affinity, 5, consistent giving, long-term connection. Engagement, 4, active but maybe not weekly. Total, 12 out of 15. This donor may not look like a traditional major gift prospect, but the signals are shouting, "Talk to me." And donor C, emerging major. Donor. This donor made a first-time gift at your major gift level last year, attended your signature event, and recently had a coffee with your executive director. They opened the last 3 campaign emails, clicked through on one story, and your call notes show they're exploring more ways to engage. Capacity, 4. You've already seen major gift capacity. Affinity, 4. Strong connection emerging. Maybe a personal story surfaced in that coffee chat. Engagement, 5. Recent gift, event, and personal visit. Total, 13 out of 15. This is someone you absolutely want on your top 25 list. If you're listening at your desk, or you can come back to this later, here's a quick activity. First, pull a short list of 30 to 50 donors who gave last year, attended an event, and opened more than 2 emails this quarter. Next, for each name, give quick 1 through 5 scores for capacity, affinity, and engagement. Don't overthink it. Last, add them up and see who rises to the top. This is not about perfection. It's about creating a simple, shared decision-making tool so you and your team know who to prioritize. Scoring is powerful, but the real magic comes when you treat it as a living, breathing system, not a one-time project. Donor signals change every week. People attend events, respond to appeals, or go quiet for a season. Your process needs to capture that movement. Think of your top 25 like a garden. You wouldn't plant in January and then come back in October expecting a thriving harvest. You'd weed, water, and check the soil regularly. Your donor portfolio deserves the same kind of attentive care. Here is a 30 to 45-minute weekly ritual you can adopt, either individually or as a team. First is run or refresh your report. Pull your scored list, or at minimum, a list of donors who gave in the last 12 to 18 months, attended a recent event, and engaged digitally, like email, opens, clicks, and online actions. Next, scan for changes in engagement. Look for new gifts, new event registrations, fresh email interactions. Adjust engagement scores as needed. Then review your top 25. Ask yourself, does anyone need to move off the list because they've gone quiet for several months? Did someone just pop with new activity and deserves to move into the top 25? And finally, decide on first actions, not outcomes. For each of your top 25, identify the very next relational move. A thank you call, a coffee invitation, a handwritten note, an invitation to a small group briefing or behind-the-scenes visit. If you're an executive director or a board member, you can join this ritual once a month and say, "Give me 5 names from our top 25, and I'll personally reach out to them." That multiplies your relational bandwidth in a big way. As you listen, think about your own weekly rhythm. Do you currently have any recurring time block to review your top prospects? Or does donor work mostly happen reactively, responding to emails, meeting invites, and last-minute fundraising pushes? If your answer is reactive, one of your biggest pain points is probably the feeling of constantly scrambling, never knowing if you're spending time with the right people. This weekly ritual is your antidote. Going back to that human services nonprofit, once their scoring system was in place, we built in a weekly prospect review. The development director and major gift officer sat down every Tuesday morning for 30 minutes. They looked at donors whose scores had changed, reprioritized the top 25, and assigned clear next steps and owners. Within a few weeks, the team said, "For the first time, we feel like we're focused on the right people at the right time, instead of just reacting to noise." And that clarity led directly to more intentional visits, stronger asks, and increased revenue from a smaller group of donors. Now, let's talk about the role of light AI and automation. This is not about replacing your relationships, it's about giving you back time and attention so you can deepen those relationships. In 2025 and 2026, nonprofits are increasingly using automation to handle repetitive tasks like pulling reports, updating engagement scores, and flagging key changes so human fundraisers can focus on conversations and strategy. Here are a few practical spots where automation can quietly support your top 25 process. The first is automated weekly reports. Many CRMs allow you to schedule a report that pulls donors who meet your basic criteria like recent giving, events, or digital engagement. You can then quickly apply or update your capacity, affinity, and engagement scores. Another practical spot for using automation is using Zapier or similar artificial intelligence tools. If your CRM integrates with tools like Zapier, you can set a zap that triggers when a donor makes a gift above a certain threshold, registers for an event, or clicks key links. That trigger can add them to a top 25 review list, update a field, or send you an email alert. Last, automation can help you with AI-assisted summaries. Some systems now allow you to combine donor data, gifts, events, emails, and have an AI tool summarize what changed this week for this donor segment. Use that summary to quickly prioritize who needs attention. This isn't about complex prediction. It's about surfacing what's already happening in your data without you having to dig through multiple screens. A couple of important guardrails. Use automation to inform your decisions, not to make them for you. Never let a score or an AI summary override your real human knowledge of a donor's circumstances. Protect donor privacy and data security. Make sure any tools you use comply with your policies and relevant regulations. Think of AI and automation as an extremely organized assistant who keeps your donor dashboard up to date so you can spend your energy listening, asking good questions, and building trust. As a quick self-assessment, ask yourself, do you have at least one automated report that helps you track donor engagement? If not, what's one simple report you could schedule this week to support your top 25 process? Even a small automation, like a weekly high engagement donors report, can reduce a huge amount of mental load over time. Let's bring this all together, and then I'll give you a clear challenge for the week. If you've been feeling overwhelmed by massive prospect lists and unsure where to start, stuck in reactive mode, chasing whoever emails you instead of leading with strategy, skeptical that your wealth screen or CRM is actually helping you prioritize real prospects. This approach, signal-based scoring, a weekly review ritual, and light automation, is designed to relieve those very real pain points. Here are 3 core takeaways from today's episode. The first is, wealth is not enough. Your best major gift prospects are those who show a combination of capacity, affinity, and engagement, not just capacity. The second takeaway is simple scoring creates clarity. A 1 to 5 scale for each signal, summed to a 15-point score, helps you cut through the noise and identify your real top 25 prospects without needing fancy tools. The final takeaway is consistency beats complexity. A short weekly review ritual, supported by light automation, will keep your top 25 list fresh, relevant, and aligned with real donor behavior. Here's your specific challenge for the next 7 days. First, run a 30-minute CRM report. Pull donors who gave in the last year, attended an event in the last 12 to 18 months, opened more than 2 emails this quarter. Next, score each donor on a 1 to 5 scale for capacity, affinity, and engagement. Don't let perfect be the enemy of done. Then sort and select your top 25. Rank by total score, circle the top 25. That's your new focus list. And block time for intentional action. Put 1 hour on your calendar this week dedicated to planning the next step for each of those 25 donors. Not the ask, just the next relational move. And to include an optional but powerful challenge is set up one automation. Even if it's just scheduling a weekly engaged donors report, put one thing in place that will make this process easier to repeat. If you do this, you will not only feel clearer and more focused, you'll likely see a shift in your results over the next quarter, just like that human services nonprofit that found its highest engaged 30 donors and watched them drive the majority of major gift revenue. I'd love to hear from you. Connect with me on LinkedIn and tell me you are currently identifying your top prospects. What signal do you tend to lean on the most? Capacity, affinity, or engagement? Send a note, share your practice, or tell me one change you're committing to this week. Building meaningful major gift relationships starts with clarity. Clarity about who you're serving, who's most ready to partner with you, and where your limited time will make the greatest impact. When you focus your energy where donor capacity meets passion and engagement, that's where your best work and your biggest impact happens. Until next time, keep transforming your fundraising so you can transform the world.
The Intentional Fundraiser podcast is a Fundraising Transformed original. I'm Trent Thompson, executive producer, CMO, and head of community at Fundraising Transformed and the Modern Institute for Charitable Giving. The Intentional Fundraiser podcast has been recognized by FeedSpot as one of the top 80 fundraising podcasts on the web. This recognition means so much to us, and it wouldn't be possible without your incredible support, encouragement, and thoughtful engagement. Every listen, share, and conversation has helped us grow and reach more passionate fundraisers like you. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to review and rate it 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, and be sure to follow or subscribe wherever you listen. For resources mentioned in this episode and to subscribe to our Scaling Major Gifts newsletter, visit fundraisingtransformed.com.